What is up, all you individuals out there? It's me, full-time anime man, and I am finally back with another episode of What If Deku Had the Blacklight Virus? Where did I leave off here? Where? Episode 5. I left off at episode 5, so that means that this is episode 6. Yeah, lately I've just been running out of ideas, so I just thought that maybe if I just simply just think of the story off of my head instead of just writing it down on paper like I used to, maybe it could actually spark that feeling that I need in order to keep going. So you know what? Let's not talk about that any further. Without any further ado, this is What If Deku Had the Blacklight Virus. Hope you all enjoy. Alright, so where we last left off, Izuku had defeated the blacklight virus that took over his father's body after he had died in the plane crash. But before that, the two infiltrated the agency of where the blacklight virus originated from. And in doing so, in doing so, and in happening and what ended up happening was that Izuku had discovered that the person that they were supposed to have been rescuing has been dead, Elizabeth Green. She died giving birth to her child, to which Izuku had named her Clementine. Only because I just like that name. Anyway, Clementine has this ability where she is actually able to infect other people without having to be a part of Izuku's bloodline. Because remember, Hasashi changed the Blacklight virus to where it could only work if anyone has his DNA. To which Clementine here was special. She could just give it to anyone. And yet, in doing so, the Blacklight virus that looked like Izuku's father wanted to consume her and take her power, but Izuku stopped him, and in the end, Izuku ate his father in order to stop his madness. When Izuku got home, he took Clementine with him, and she found comfort in her new home. But when it was time for Izuku to go to school, he noticed that Bakugo was delicious to him. He noticed that Bakugo looked delicious to eat. I'm sorry, I can't make that sound any more not going that way than what I'm thinking right now. Anyway, before they went to class, Izuku had told Bakugo to just go without him. He needed to use the bathroom. So the boys would go their separate ways, and Izuku would go into the bathroom. He didn't look around to see if it was empty, but when he entered, it looked like no one was there. He breathed deeply in and out, just like looking at himself in the mirror. No, it can't be. He said he fixed that. Why? Why am I hungry? Why does he look delicious? I can't. It has to be all in my head. It has to be all in my head. No, I'm not hungry for people. I am not hungry for people. Izuku looked into the mirror one more time, and out of instinct, he punched the mirror, cracking it. I'm not hungry for people! From the bathroom stalls, one of the stalls opened with a student awkwardly staring at Izuku with fear in his eyes, and then he gently walked towards the exit of the bathroom and ran out, leaving Izuku feeling embarrassed. Right after Izuku bandaged up his cuts because he punched the mirror, he made it to class at the last minute. He opened the door to see that Bakugo was talking with Kirishima. Kirishima would talk to Bakugo and thanked him for saving his life during these entrance exams. Bakugo would tell him that it's no problem, just don't be an idiot next time. When Izuku took his seat, Uraraka entered the room, and she would thank Izuku for saving her life, to which the door would open to Mr. Aizawa inside of his sleeping bag, telling everybody to have a seat and that it took them so long to shut up. He would then tell them that they need to get some uniforms on and meet them outside. Uraraka would ask, what about orientation? Aizawa would just say things like, what's good about orientation? That's a lot of time that could be used for getting stronger, other than some pointless meetup. Anyway, they do not question their teacher's commands, and they get dressed. In the dressing room, Izuku has finished getting his uniform on, but he looks around at his companions again, and his stomach is lightly growling, and he just feels like he has an empty stomach. No, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. Suddenly, he feels a hand on his back, and he jumps, turning around. He looks and sees Bakugo. Hey, dude, what's going on with you? It's nothing. I'm still a bit shocked after what I had to do in order to survive. Oh, I understand what that's like. Anyway, you shouldn't let that bother you right now. You're at school. Come on, let's go. Everyone would meet outside, and Mr. Aizawa would have everyone do a series of tests. He would give Izuku a ball and tell him to throw it as far as he could. Izuku would throw the ball, and he would get a couple thousand meters, whereas Bakugo would be next, and he would throw it just a little more further than Izuku did. Alright, let's see here. During a foot race, Ida would end up running, but he would end up tripping on something, causing him to bleed in his legs. Izuku would see the blood running down his leg, and his stomach would growl loudly. No. He could just feel his instincts, like he's losing control of himself if he doesn't eat soon. Mr. Aizawa would ask Izuku what's wrong with him, and Izuku would just point out that it's nothing, and that he's just hungry. He hates to say it, but he is feeling hungry. Anyway, the test comes to an end and no one was sent home. But Aizawa does notice that something is off about Izuku, but Bakugo is the one who's really on Izuku about it. Back in the changing room, Bakugo asks Izuku again what's going on with him, but Izuku says it's nothing. Bakugo could see it. He could also hear it in the tone of his voice that nothing is okay right now. And he pries about it he asks Izuku again what is going on. But Izuku says it's nothing and slams his locker closed, leaving a handprint of a dent in his locker, and walks off. Soon, while Izuku was walking home, he sees that there was a mugging in process and sees that no one was around to help. So he runs over and stops the conflict, but in doing so, the perp ended up cutting himself with his blade, and it would send Izuku's hunger sensation wild. No! Jesus! No! His mouth would begin to, drool out of even smelling the blood that is dripping from this man, and he would tell the woman to run and call the police. Izuku would render the man unconscious and run away. He reaches home, and when he opens the door and shuts it, he is immediately greeted by his mother and his little sister, Clementine, wearing a new outfit, for they had gone shopping. It's the first time that he's ever seen Clementine smile, and it was nice seeing that. But Inko sees that there is something going on with her son. Son, what is going on? It's nothing, Mom. I'm just feeling a little hungry. Do you think you can whip me up something, maybe a steak. Let it be rare and, or in this case, a little bloody. Um, oh, okay, son, but you don't usually like your meals bloody. I know, it's just, it just sounds really good to me. Oh, okay, son, I'll make you a steak. Just, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to my room. Hey, little sis, you okay? Um, Clementine could see in Izuku's eyes that something was bothering him, and she actually says a word. Are you okay, big bro? Yeah, I'm fine. Mom, please make the steak. I just need a nap, okay? I'm gonna go take a nap for a little bit. Oh, okay. Izuku walks off into his room, closing the door. Not even turning on the light, he just lays around in his bed and closes his eyes, trying to rest off the hunger sensation. But he had such a hard time falling asleep that he just kept on finding himself wallowing around in his bed, tossing and turning, even at one point being so angrily hungry that he was hangry, that he threw an All Might figurine to the wall and it shattered on impact. No. This can't be happening. He starts to lose control of his breathing, and soon he finds himself in that realm where his alternate scene is where his alternate self is. You somehow know more about this than anything before I even knew you. You knew what's going on. Can you tell me, why am I hungry for human flesh all of a sudden? The mysterious figure says, because it is in you have had a sort of addiction towards it. You got your first taste of human flesh. Well, in this case, your father's flesh. Shut up! Anyway, now you are addicted, and there's no way of you getting off of this addiction. Try all you want. You're eventually going to have to eat a human being. No, I'm not gonna eat nobody. No, I can fight this. I'll figure out something. Izuku bends over and crossing his arms around his stomach. His stomach is riddling with pain. It almost feels like there are holes, like his stomach is eating itself. Izuku wakes up a few minutes later by a knock at his door. His mother stands there with a worried look, holding the steak in her hand, with a little bit of blood surrounding it on the bottom of the plate. Without even saying thank you, Izuku snatched the plate away and shut the door and began to devour the bloodied steak. Relentlessly snapping and opening his jaw widely just to take another big old chunk out of it and just ripping it apart. No. Eating it like he was a feral human being. Even when after finishing the steak, he still felt like his hunger was still not satisfied. And then, inside of his mind, he just snapped. Like, his feralness just took over. He put on his signature hoodie and jacket that was given to him by the elder man from New York City, and he leaped out into the night. Dog barking. He leaped out into the night, just running around the place looking for some food. He was looking for somebody to eat. Until he comes across, he runs around for a little bit until he comes across a homeless man laying on a box trying to sleep. There was nobody around. Izuku slowly walked towards the sleeping homeless man, and he turned one of his hands into a blade. Looking down at the man and at his blades, he raises his hand up, ready to strike down. But Izuku's sanity just held him back. The blades in his hand shake out of hesitation, and Izuku takes in a deep breath, and then again. Izuku turns his hand back to normal and he runs off. No, 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 no. I won't take a human life. I won't take a life. I won't take a life. Suddenly, the aroma of human flesh caught the scent of Izuku. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, Izuku followed the scent, and it led to a hospital. And suddenly, Izuku gets a certain idea about satisfying his hunger. Like, does it actually have to be living people that'll satisfy his hunger? Does it actually have to have a beating heart? Izuku was going to regret this, but even though, people may be deceased, these were still people. But he had to satisfy his hunger, otherwise he will go feral, and he might end up killing somebody who may be innocent, or even as a villain, he must not kill or hurt anybody unless it's at a last resort. Izuku enters this hospital and he makes his way downstairs to the morgue. A lot of people asked him questions like, what is he doing down here? But the scent of the human flesh just put him in a trance where he did not respond. Deku would then look over and he would see a lifeless body on a metal table, which had not yet had its innards extracted yet. It was a fresh corpse. Izuku then walked over towards the figure, still having his hoodie up, concealing his identity from the people that are around him. He then began to hack and slash at the body, with blood splattering everywhere. Duly noted that it was a fresh body, so yeah, there's still blood in it. The morgues that were around him were screaming in agony, "What are you doing, you monster?" Izuku then began to devour organs and chunks of meat from this person that used to be alive. And he would actually take joy within doing it. Oh, that's so good. The people would then begin to run away from Izuku, pulling the alarm. Izuku would then finish off what he had started by absorbing the rest of the person's body into his body, finally satisfying his hunger. When he did, he gained the memories and temporarily used to be quirk on that person, and even used her identity. It was nobody special. It was really just a woman who unfortunately died of cancer. Can we say that? Can we say cancer? Yeah, we can? Okay, she died of cancer. With her clothes, well, in this case, she didn't really have clothes on. Anyway, with his clothes, with her body and Izuku's clothes covering her, security guards came down, and Izuku, dressed as this woman, had to fight them off. Most of them were confused. They could have sworn that this woman was dead, but now she's back to life? What the hell? Anyway, Izuku rendered them all unconscious, not killing them, even though his instincts were really telling him to. He ran back home and turned back into his normal identity. You know, the Izuku Midoriya we all know and love. That night, Izuku was finally able to sleep, but at the same time, he was haunted by the fact that he had to eat a dead person in order to satisfy his hunger. That is why, before he left, before he actually consumed the entire woman's body, he did spare a few of her innards, just in case he needed to satisfy his hunger later. Anyway, it's the next day, and Izuku wakes up feeling like he wants to vomit, but he can't. Oh my god, what am I becoming? What am I becoming? I can't do that again. I need to find a better source, or at least an easier way to get to eat someone. It made Izuku sick to his stomach to even say that he had to eat someone in order to not go feral, but he really didn't have a choice. Anyway, before he left for school, he would apologize to his mother and Clementine about his behavior, saying that he was just feeling very hungry and that the steak actually helped him feel better. Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better, sweetie. Yeah, it's good to know you're better, big bro. Anyway, I better get to school. You two take care now. Have a good day at school, sweetie. Anyway, Izuku makes it to school and he apologizes to Bakugo about his reaction the other day. He simply just rubbed it off as him being hungry, but Bakugo knew that he was lying, but he accepted it anyway because he wanted to dig more into it, but didn't want to draw any suspicion towards Izuku. Okay, let's see. When their conversation came to an end, All Might busted through the door saying, "I'm coming through the normal door like a normal person." Everyone would be surprised. Hey, All Might, it's him. He's wearing his Golden Age suit. Hey, blah, blah, blah. All Might would announce that they will be doing Heroes vs. Villains that day, and things would go the same as canon, only obviously Bakugo has one for all, and Izuku has the blacklight virus. Sorry, I'm a little broken. Anyway, Ida would be teamed up with Bakugo. Izuku would be teamed up with Uraraka. Okay, so the two would put their bomb in the same spot as they did in the show, and Izuku and Uraraka would be waiting outside and be told that they can go in. The two slowly strolled through the hallways for a little while until Bakugo gave away his location and the two were able to hide from him. Izuku told Uraraka to go and find the bomb and he'll take care of Bakugo. She would, and Izuku and Bakugo would find each other. FYI, Izuku's hero suit will be like Alex Mercer, which aka is what he already has on. Anyway, the two would lunge at each other and would begin to fight. Bakugo would lunge explosions at Izuku, and Izuku would be using his arsenal. Well, he would be using his armor first to block Bakugo's explosions, and he would use Hammer Fist to swing at Bakugo, with each swing that he did, he would end up either missing or successfully hitting Bakugo. Whenever he took a swing, he would crack the walls and the ground. When Bakugo's gauntlet was filled to the brink of his nitroglycerin explosion, with his nitroglycerin, he then pulled the pin on Izuku, but Izuku would take the explosion head on, and he would use armor once more. But he was blown back by the explosion that he was hanging by the hole that the explosion made by a finger. Bakugo would walk towards the hole that he made in the wall and sees that Izuku was hanging from it and would actually use his foot to step on it, trying to make Izuku let go. Don't you think you're playing a little bit dirty there, Bakugo? Nah, you'll be fine. Bakugo then kicks Izuku's finger, which caused Izuku to fall off the side of the building, but Izuku would use his whipped arm, like he would turn his arm into the elongated... Man, I forgot what power that was. Anyway, he would use arm whip, and then he would, like, whip it towards Bakugo and wrap the thread around him, taking him down with him. The two would then fall to the ground with Izuku breaking the concrete, but Bakugo also laying on top of Izuku, adding on to his pain. The two would grunt out of hitting the ground. Oh! Yeah! Damn, dude, seriously? Hey, come on, you can easily recover from that. I know that, but still, it hurts like a mother lover. Anyway, after the two regained their composure, the two would continue their fight. And, Izuku would throw explosions. Jesus Christ. Izuku would, jeez. Anyway, the two would continue their fight outside, and Uraraka would speak over Izuku's earpiece that she found the bomb, but in doing so, she gave away her location, and Ida would begin their battle together. I'll be there as soon as I can, said Izuku. Bakugo lunges at Izuku, and Izuku would... let's see. Let's just see what he's got here. He's got claws, a scythe arm, a hammer fist, whip fist. That's what the whip technique was about. Yes, armor and muscle mass, and another power that I'm going to need to remember. Anyway, Izuku would then activate muscle mass, covering his arms in a black goo that would resemble Haki from One Piece. Anyway, the two would fist fight for a little bit, and Bakugo would notice that his other gauntlet is ready for usage, and he was about to get ready to pull the pin to try and do Izuku in again, but Izuku would see this ahead of time, and he would actually use the barbed wire on his whip fist, and it would actually whip it towards Bakugo, causing it to scratch into his gauntlet, causing it to leak. With Whip Fist still active and with the nitroglycerin now on the ground, Izuku then quickly pulled his arm back, causing sparks. And these sparks came in contact with the nitroglycerin, which then caused it to explode on Bakugo, which then caused the force to throw him back and hit his head into the concrete wall, which knocked him out. That sounded like it hurt. It did hurt. Anyway, Izuku would make it to Uraraka, and the two would work together to take down Ida, which would give them victory. Now, in this case, Izuku was dubbed the real MVP, and Yorozu would point out that he may have been a bit reckless, but it was only just minor damage, while Bakugo even went went too far using his gauntlets, knowing how he could have eventually taken Izuku's life. To which Bakugo would say, "Oh, come on, he could easily recover from that. He also has a healing factor." Anyway, school would come to an end, and Izuku secretly ate the woman's organs from the other night because he was feeling very peckish. While sitting and eating, he was thinking of other ways that he could get human organs to satisfy his hunger. And it was then that Izuku came up with the idea that he could befriend someone in the morgue to supply him with these organs. If he could pay the person money to keep quiet about it, and all he simply had to do was bring Izuku the organs that he needed. To which, surprisingly, Izuku's plan actually did work. He found someone in the morgue from the same hospital that he had ravaged to give Izuku some organs from people that have died. So that was one thing that Izuku had less to worry about, but he still felt like it was horrible and inhuman to even do something like this, to eat anyone. Eventually, he told himself that he's going to have to grow accustomed to it, that this is his life now. It was at that night, Izuku laid in his bed by himself, just wondering, would it have been better if I had been quirkless? Would it have been better if my father had just died and not come back? I don't know. Suddenly, while thinking, he heard a knock at his door, his bedroom door, if I may verify, and he saw his little sister, Clementine, enter. "Oh, hey, what's wrong, Clementine?" "I can't sleep. Can I sleep with you, little bro?" "Can I sleep with you, big bro?" Yeah, sure." Clementine would crawl into Izuku's bed, and after a few hours of sleeping, Izuku was awakened by light squealing and weeping from his sleeping sibling. "Clementine." He wakes her up. "Clementine, hey, what's wrong?" I had a nightmare." "Oh, you had a nightmare? Well, what happened?" "I dreamt that I was back in that horrible place where those men did those horrible things to me." Izuku would comfort his little sister, saying, "Hey, they're no longer a threat to you anymore. You'll never have to worry. You don't have to worry about them anymore. Me and my dad, we took down their organization. Nobody is going to come from you. Nobody's going to come for you. You have my promise, okay?" She smiled and nodded her head. "Okay." It's the next day, and Aizawa told everyone that they will be taking a trip to the USJ. Everyone would be sitting on the bus, and they would be talking about how Bakugo's quirk looks similar to All Might. And Sue would ask him what's the meaning of it, and Bakugo would tell her that it's none of your damn business. To which everyone would just laugh it off. Now, unfortunately for Izuku, that day he forgot his quote-unquote lunch, if you know what I mean. So he was feeling a bit peckish at the moment, but he felt like he could hold out long enough until he gets home to eat. When they arrived at the USJ, 13 told everyone that even the weakest quirks can be the most dangerous, and it's best that they understand their quirks. When they were about to begin, they saw that a man with light blue hair and scars all over his neck standing there with a purple portal behind him. saying that they're there to kill All Might, and that he brought a few friends along to help him out with that. The portal then expanded outwards, and more than 100 people walked through it. It was a horrifying sight. All these men were here to kill All Might, and Izuku's stomach started growling. Ah, damn it, not now. And that's where I'm going to end it off. So I hope you all enjoyed this what if. Like, it does actually feel kind of good to just like come up with these things from the top of my head. Like, maybe I should just do that more other than relying on a script. So maybe I will. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this what if, and if you made it to the end of this video, consider yourselves #blessed, and I hope you all have a nice day. Goodbye.